Hello everyone, my name is Darren Hong. So today our presentation topic is standardization of training, certification, and watchkeeping conventions, also known as STCW. We also covering about the recognition of professionalism as seafarers. Our group member got me, Kongjiru, and Ensiming. This is our table of contents. Um, I'm going to talk about the introduction of the STCW. It is a key regulatory framework established by the International Maritime Organization, also known as IMO. The convention entered into force in April 1984 after requisite number of ratifications was attained. The convention also revised and updated in 1995. They aim for allocating the technical annex to the rules and chapters in previous version of STCW conventions in 1997. In 2018, total of 164 countries have signed these global standards, also indicate that this standard has been widely recognized in the shipping industry. So now I'm going to talk about the purpose of the STCW. It ensures that seafarers have the competency and skills necessary to perform their duties safely and effectively on board ships. On the other hand, they also provide the navigations, expertise, and recognitions of seafarers' professionalism. The convention also helping the seafarers understand the risks that involved in their working on board and how and when to take the preventive measure. All seafarers must hold their valid certification of STCW to operate the vessel professionally and perform specific roles and responsibility on boards. STCW also provide the training about the sea survival, fire prevention, surprises, first aid, and in some case also training about the medical training. Now we're going to talk about the political topic assigned by the STCW. STCW also covering about the labor rights. Also mean is also cover about international labor organizations, maritime labor conventions, and international labor conventions. It stipulate every aspect of working and like living condition, allow the employment agreement, work and rest hours, payment of wages, annual payment, and also insurance claim. The relative of the seafarers can claim the contract compensations if the seafarers have disability on working on boards or vessel operating. In environmental protections factors, STCW also covering about the international conventions for the preventions of pollution from ship, also known as MAPRO, to control and prevention of pollution from ship. STCW also set the regulation to oil control pollution, control of the pollution, toxic liquid chemicals, plastic wastes at sea, cut air pollution by limited the ship emissions, to let the seafarers have the training to how to prevent the pollution and control the emissions.
Critique the policy. According to current report, there are 80% of maritime accidents are caused by human factors. Nowadays, the skill required for maritime work on land and at sea are constantly evolving due to the new environmental legislations, technologies, and comprehensive digitalizations. As a result, the outdated training and information may become a burden for seafarers. This is because seafarers' education and training cannot keep up with the rapid development of maritime technology. For example, due to outdated STCW training programs, seafarers cannot keep up with the advancement of shipping technology, resulting in their navigation and radio communication skills being insufficient for the requirements on board. In addition, standardized training programs do not always meet the needs of specific maritime industry or ships, which may hinder the development of well-trained maritime personnel who can adapt to the nuances of different ship types or regions. Therefore, this criticism is crucial. It shows the gap between the current maritime educations and the competencies that are really needed at sea. Second, There are differences in the applications and enforcement of the STCAC conventions between different countries. Most seafarers work on ships other than the flags that are responsible for overseeing their educations and issuing certificates of competencies. Due to insufficient enforcement measures, the quality of certifications and training can vary from country to country, even if some countries have established robust rules and monitoring systems. Such different undermine global recognitions of seafarers' professional committees and can lead to the hiring of unqualified workers compromising safety standards. Next, the new skills are required due to increased automations, digitalizations, and complex communications technology, but these are not adequately addressed by the STCW framework. The outdated training limits the professionalism and flexibility of seafarers in the contemporary technologically advanced maritime environment. The increasing automations of ship systems, equipment, and operations is an example of how STCW should adapt and respond to technological advances. Today, the number of newly created tools and technology is increasing, but the progress is also limited because they are based on 10 years old rules. New digital teaching technologies, onboard technologies, and maritime education technologies have all experienced rapid development in the past decade. As a result, the fourth industrial revolutions and digitalizations are revolutionizing the shipping industry and maritime education. These issues, coupled with the impact caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, have led to a growing need for more advanced MET training resources and technologies. Therefore, STCW should be carefully developed to adapt to the trend of increasing automations of ship systems, equipment, and operations, and to respond and adapt to technology events.
Good day, sir. I am Kong Jeru. Today, I will present on the area of improvement of STCW. The first area of improvement can be the implication of technology advancement. The new century persuades the e-documents, online learning, and emerging technologies. Therefore, STCW will optimize maritime training areas such as the introductions of emerging ship technology and adoption of document digitalizations and enhance the cybersecurity measure for shipboard system. These interrelated elements create a growing gap between traditional training standards and the digital transformations of the shipping industry. The purpose updates will retain the training standard from the past but future-proof the capabilities to handle such as the automated system, electronic documents, simulation-based tool, and also the cyber threat protections. The second area of improvement will be the mental health and psychological safety. The welfare and safety of the seafarer is particularly important in terms of mental health and psychological safety. STCW has not acted on the effective mental health support or anti-bullying measure. This negative environment is not ideal for standardizing a policy on gender, diversity, and also inclusion of women in maritime work. Therefore, it is a necessary for the STCW conventions to include the comprehensive measure such as structures anti-sexual harassment or abuse training. So this type of training enables seafarers to identify, prevent, and also respond to abusive or harassing behavior. To keep pace with modernizations and streamlining, the current traditional training structure is no longer adapt to the modern technological advance and operational realities. Therefore, STCW must do on transformations that include shifting to a competency-based training approach combined with modern tools. For example, the advanced simulator and modular learning system allow flexibility on board and shore. Specifically, the amendments should introduce standardized criteria for the equivalence of training simulators based on modern changes. For outdated training content, the conventions must formally review internal mechanism and regularly update course content to respond to the changes in modern technology and new operating models. Moving onward, I will present on topic named Suggestion for Betterment Towards Sustainability of STCW. In terms of enhancing the sustainability of the STCW conventions, the development of digitalizations and e-learning has become an important turning point. The hybrid learning method combines online theoretical training with mandatory on-site practical assessment. Is able to reduce the logical barriers for seafarers while maintaining the competency standards. For example, the maritime e-learning platform that owned by Ocean Technology Group and Video Hotel offer courses that meet the standards of the International Maritime Organizations that allowing seafarers to complete their modules remotely before attending the practical courses at the certification center. Second, STCW can adopt a blockchain-based certificate verification technology to enhance the integrity of seafarer certificate. The electronic certification system can prevent illegal forgery of license, duplicating paperwork, also simplify the verification process. For example, the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore have begun the piloting the implementation of blockchain technology for seafarer documents to ensuring their employers and also port authorities can instantly verify their own identities. Third, STCW must place greater emphasis on the mental health and well-being of seafarers to ensure the long-term sustainability. Mental health training should be incorporated into the STCW curriculum that should cover mental relations, stress management, and also the fatigue preventions. For example, International Seafarer Welfare and Assistance Network already offer a mental health program which shows that there is a growing awareness and tolerance of psychological issues. In addition, to maintain the long-term sustainability of the STCW conventions, a more agile revision process is needed to keep up with rapid technological and regulatory changes. The framework must be adopt a more dynamic revision process to quickly incorporate emerging maritime technologies and environmental regulations. Lastly, the integrations of green skill and sustainability training must be at the core of seafarer education to align with global environmental priorities in the future. STCW can incorporate an environmental awareness courses that cover the benefits and drawback of reducing carbon footprints, energy efficient ship operations, and use of the alternative fuels such as LNG, hydrogen, and ammonia. For example, the IMO GROMIT project has laid the foundation for energy efficiency training, while institutions like Wasatch Maritime School now include green shipping modules in their curriculum. Thank you. That's all for me. Now I will pass to next presenter for conclusion part.
In summary, the STCW Conventions is the cornerstone of the international maritime system, ensuring that seafarers have the necessary knowledge, skills, and training to ensure efficient and safe operations at sea. The law has been criticized for a number of reasons, including failures to keep pace with rapidly evolving technology, uneven enforcement across different jurisdictions, and outdated training techniques that are not in line with the requirements of contemporary shipboard operations. Therefore, the modernizations of the STCW conventions requires embracing digital change and raising awareness of mental health and moving to a competences-based training model. The greater goals of sustainable maritime development is to improve efficiency, accessibility, and sustainability by integrating cutting-edge technology and green skill combined with sustainable practice. In short, the future applications of the STCW conventions depends on its ability to quickly adapt to change in the maritime field related to technology, environment, and people. The STCW conventions can continue to ensure the maritime safety, protect the seafarers' rights, and enhance to sustainability of global maritime operations by encouraging and all encompassing forward-looking approach. Thank you.